Welcome to another edition of Variant Reviews. On this episode, we review the Marvel Select Zombie Magneto. Well, alright, here we have Zombie Magneto, and ever since they announced that they were going to release this figure, I've been anxiously awaiting. And one thing that kind of strikes me weird is, I don't remember Magneto being a zombie. I do remember he was like the last surviving one with superpowers in the comics, but anyway, on the side of the box you do have a good representation of what the figure looks like on the box art here. On the back of the box you do have your standard description and your little pic there, and at the bottom you do have Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the Captain America from the Winter Soldier movie. So here we have your standard Marvel Select detailed base here, and what seems to be like a chunk of concrete with a manhole cover, and what's looking to be the Green Goblin's arm with a pumpkin bomb. So at a closer look, you can kind of see some of the detail here. You get the pumpkin bomb here, and come over to the side. You see there's like a chunk of the Goblin's arm missing. Look like he got bit. And you round it off to the back here. You see a little bit of bone, a little flesh, and a little bit of the green arm. One thing you can see, you see a lot of the texture here. A lot of paint differentiation, a lot of dry brushing. You see a lot of little detail here on the base, which is pretty cool. Now, one thing I am noticing, this isn't like the previous wave of Marvel zombies that came out where all the bases attached. This one seems to kind of just be its own thing. So maybe they're not going to have more Marvel zombies after all. I don't know. Who knows? But the previous one did attach. You got Captain America, Spider-Man, and Zombie Hulk, and all those attached together. So here we have the Magneto figure itself, and I'm noticing it's actually a lot different from the Marvel Select Magneto that they did, and the costume's a little bit different. So one of the things you're going to notice right off the bat, he's missing an eyeball, he's missing some teeth, his head's pretty much a skull. On the arms, you can see they did a lot of detail here as far as this dry brushing to make it look very weathered. They have like this metallic-y kind of dry brushing going throughout the figure. Going down to the torso, you do see some chunks of meat taken out of his body. You see a little bit of that muscle tissue, a little bit of meat here and there, and a lot of little tears right here on the rib. So down to the abdomen, you can see he's missing his intestines, his stomach, all those little organs there. So you can see straight through all the way to his spine. And I'm noticing he has this utility belt, but I don't remember Magneto having utility belt, so I really don't know what that's about. One of the things I do want to mention is there are a lot of shades of red here. You have your dark red and a mid-color red and then a lighter red. And I guess that's just to differentiate blood from the actual costume itself and then the blood tissue. So you can see there's more muscle tissue being shown here on one of the legs here. Down at the lowest point of the body, you see that there's a kneecap exposed here where it's just skeleton, and then it goes back into meat and, the boot. On the back, you can see there's a big old hole going straight through the cape, and I guess, I don't know, it looks like maybe something went through him, but if you look underneath the back, there really isn't a hole back there. But on the front of the body, there's the hole. So, I don't know. I mean, the way the cape's moving out, it looks like maybe something went through him. But it just kind of doesn't make sense that there's not a hole on his back there. And one of the cool features about this figure is that the helmet actually comes off. And that's something you always want in a Magneto figure. And it kind of pretty much exposes his bald skull head. You see there's more dry brushing going throughout. A little bit of purple, a little bit of black, and a little bit more red. In the way of head articulation, his head does turn all the way around. It looks doesn't really look down or look up, but it does have like this side-to-side thing going on his head. Now his arm does turn all the way around. It does hinge open. There isn't a bicep swivel or anything like that, but there is a single elbow joint. Now he doesn't have a cuff swivel or anything like that, but he does have articulation here at the wrist. There's no tilt down or up or anything like that. He is absent of ab articulation and waist swivel. In the way of leg articulation, his leg does do this movement here. It doesn't kick straight up. It kind of kicks out to the side, and when you move it back, it does this. So it's kind of weird. I guess basically this figure is meant to be standing only, and you could probably get him in a little flight position or anything like that. But he does have double jointed knees, he has ankle articulation, and he has an ankle rocker down here. One thing that surprised me about this figure, it does have peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and that's one thing that the other Marvel zombies don't have. the Colonel America, Spider-Man, or Zombie Hulk. Neither one of those figures have peg holes at the bottom of their feet. This is what he looks like standing next to Zombie Cap and Spider-Man. Now, one thing, I don't have the Zombie Hulk, but he pretty much towers over these other guys. If you're going to utilize the base with this figure, this is what it's going to pretty much look like. Now, there aren't any peg holes on the base, so the best look, in my opinion, is probably something like this. Something reminiscent of what's on the back of the box. Now, at the end of the day, do I recommend this figure? I mean, honestly, I would. Definitely if you're a Marvel Zombies fan or just an X-Men fan, I mean, I would recommend this figure. I think this is a pretty dope figure just to have in the collection. I mean, yes, it's lacking a lot of articulation. Yes, you really can't get any kind of dynamic poses or anything like that. But, I mean, I think it looks absolutely sick. And I'm going to be proud to have this in my collection. Don't forget to visit CityRockersApparel.com. You can get all kinds of stuff like t-shirts from Misfits, Tool, Metallica, all kinds of bands. Also, you can get your Halloween mask from Rob Zombie, They Live, Phantom of the Opera, and more. Again, that's CityRockersApparel.com. Go check out that website. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of Variant Reviews. So before you guys forget, hit the subscribe button, please.